come and go, and others are with you forever.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
I've got it. And it's true. It's true. I had a pretty, I don't know that I realised so much at the time, a pretty miserable childhood with asthma. I'd be home a lot of the time and I would rock up after school and bring me the homework.
Thank you. That's a friend.
Why do you remind me?
And basically keep me up to date though with what was happening in school. And I guess at the time I probably took it for granted. I was pleased to see him, and I perhaps not quite so pleased to get all the updates. But it helped me stay in touch with my peers. And I was never a brilliant student, not like Clive. He got through law in 4.5 years. It took me 15.
You learned a lot at 16.
But I don't have the record, as far as I know. Well, I know I don't have that record. But Peter Moffat, who's a solicitor in Grenfell and other places, has been doing a bit of legal work for me and Susie. He took longer than I did.
Can you employ people that are smarter?
But, someone said, well, you get a good grounding if you sort of do it for all those years. You sort of... Anyway,
you know what
that's the
you're
law.
talking about.
Can I say, I always wanted to be an architect.
Not a career change.
There's still time.
Despite your sense of style, it's not too late.
Being the weak, lily-livered person I am, my best friend was doing law, so I thought, well, that's what I'll do.
You can always try.
So here I am.
It's not
And
too
I have
late.
to say that it might have taken a while, but it's been pretty good to me.
It has.
And, I've met some nice people through the law.
And some not so
I've
nice.
met some nice lawyers independently of the law, like John Rodney Brown here.
How does he fit into it? He was a defendant once.
We were doing our bit for the legacy children,
Younger set.
legacy younger set,
Yes.
and that's where I met Brownie. And he was from Wollongong, from the famous firm once known as Russell, McClelland and Brown, no relation I'm told, who are now call themselves something like South Coast Compensation Lawyers.
Sounds like.
And it's Terry, my good friend Terry, who's a barrister who does 99% of our work, as Terry would say, well, they didn't know much about our sort of compensation. I think they threw the towel in eventually. In the one case we've had against the South Coast Compensation Lawyers or whatever. But anyway,
But that's another story.
yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, so the law's been pretty good to me, and I sort of came down here, and 15 years on, I'm in my second. Well, actually, I didn't stick with the Department of Education 3 months and the Ministry of Transport for 4 months. Oh, that was purgatory. Commercial law, because as Terry would know, I mean, he knows a little bit about commercial law. Loriana would know more.
True.
But I'm a litigation lawyer, and that's what I've liked, and that's what I do. And I don't think I'm terribly brilliant at anything particularly, but if you do something long enough, you develop
fucking brilliant at it.
Yeah, well, you develop an expertise, I suppose.
Rodney, BBB, mate.
Yeah, anyway, I'm there, and it's been good. But, then there's Clive too. Clive's been just the most wonderful friend. it wouldn't matter if we didn't see each other for 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years.
That's not
It'd always be the. It would always be the.
Same class, weren't they?
I used to be his mother's second son.
Really?
Because Clive was an only child for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then this interloper
playing golf for tomorrow morning.
arrived on the scene. And I got relegated to the third son status. But to compensate for being the third son, Barb and Gordon named the second one Rodney, apparently after me. And Barb, we attended Barb's 95th birthday party about a month ago. Life's pretty tough when you get to 95 and you've had a leg amputated, but she's my second mum, and just an amazing, wonderful person.
Yeah.
And she, anyway, that's the Austins.
So let's move on.
That's all you get.
So
That's 1947.
I have to say,
1947.
I have to say the great man Robert Gordon Menzies, it wasn't going to be tea, it was a cocktail party as I recall. I was shunted off to bed,
Oh, God, no.
being the sort of...
A bit of
Early
cheese.
7.
And I'm not quite sure why, that my father exhorted the great man to come and give me a kiss goodnight in my bed, which he did.
Oh.
Didn't get
So, no.
You were
But it's funny how something, I can remember this, because of the petrol affair, we had these guys going through the cellar and through the roof checking things out. And I think it is probably the first event of that nature probably to ever hit Australia. So it was, we were a bit of a backwater in those days, I think, in terms of espionage and intrigue and that sort of thing. So, but anyway, I grew up, and I have to say, it's something that I guess I have to live with, but I met and married Susie and I had 3 wonderful children, but it would be remiss of me if I did not acknowledge the contribution that Susie made to the raising of our children, to our joint lives, to the contribution she made to my legal career, my health,
Yes.
and my political career.
Yes.
She could not have been more supportive, and I guess whilst I'm enormously grateful for that, I'm particularly grateful for the contribution that she made in looking after my mother in her later years. Susie could not have looked after her own mother better. So, and I know it hurts Susie, but life has those horrible events, I guess. And so to a degree we have to move on, and, but I wouldn't want it to go unacknowledged. So far as, so I came to Sydney, and I've met some of these people here tonight, and some really nice ones, I have to say. Some people who have been extraordinarily welcoming, kind to me. And as someone who really sort of very frightened of dying, I honestly didn't think I'd ever live to 50 after some pretty ordinary little fate last
You
week,
found
I
that.
suppose. So I'm 20 years on, and hopefully, I don't know that I want to go for another 20 years, but sort of, you know, I've had a good time, and I have. He's got to get you in.
I'm too old.
So, you know, I've had an extraordinary life in many ways. I've done a lot of things. One way or another, I was able to achieve a few things too. And along the way, I made some really nice friends and had the support of some wonderful people.
We all love you. So
So, thank you for being here tonight and helping me celebrate this event.
I'm sure Sue and Terry are sorry to.
Ah,
that
yeah,
they
Sue and Terry and
couldn't
Bonnie.
make it.
But anyway, that's the story. I'm a very fortunate person in so many ways, and I don't say that with any degree of arrogance. It's a degree of gratefulness. I don't know. It's the 50th anniversary of Sound of Music. Somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Ron. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hooray! Hip, hooray! Hip, hooray!
Now, Carlos.
Carlos is going to do a